Hey everyone, this is Jen Norton, and I wanted to share with you today one thing I learned while I was painting a portrait of Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton, which I have right here. This is the original painting. And the thing I learned from Saint Seton is that even when we suffer immense grief and loss, we still have huge purpose in God's eyes. Um, and to live that purpose, we just have to learn to say yes to the graces that He offers, even in the midst of pain. So often when we're going through things, we think, oh gosh, I deserve better. I deserve this or that. And the truth is, we don't deserve anything. Everything we have is by the grace of God. We really are incapable of doing anything for ourselves, in spite of our best efforts. And believe me, I try. um, but in studying St. Elizabeth Seton, she was actually our first American born saint. She lived during the time of the American Revolution. And she was born into wealth, and she married into a shipping company, and she seemed to have everything going for her. Yet in her lifetime, she suffered both the loss of her own mother and estrangement from a beloved stepmother. She lost her husband and his father in law both to tuberculosis at a fairly young age, and with that, she lost all of her wealth. And really, that could have just tripped her up. I think it would have tripped a lot of us up, myself included. But one of the things that she discovered after the loss of her husband, she was actually in Italy when he died, and so probably along with grief was feeling pretty lonely, away from everyone. And she was introduced to the Eucharist. Now she was a Protestant woman, but she was introduced to the belief that we have as Catholics that the true presence of Jesus Christ is in the Eucharist. And with that, she found that she just felt connected to to everything, to God, to those who had passed, the communion of saints. It just gave her a great comfort, and it gave her great purpose that she still had a reason to go on. And when she came back to the States, things were still difficult. Again, she did not magically regain her wealth, but she was introduced to a priest who was fleeing from the French terrors in France at that time. And she was given the opportunity to begin to teach again, and to get involved back with the Catholic Church in a new way. And she took those opportunities. And I think that's what we have to learn from her, is that, it's so easy to just curl up in a ball and say, I'm done. I can't do anymore. But she took that chance and she said yes. And in the course of her life, she ended up leaving in a legacy. You've probably heard of St. Elizabeth Seton. You've probably been to a hospital called Seton Hospital, or gone to a Seton school, or perhaps been in the Daughters of Charity, or touched by them. And these are all legacies that she left. She could not have imagined these as a young girl, growing up. She just wanted to get married and have children and have a family. And that wasn't to be. And I'm sure she was sad about it a lot. Yet her legacy leaves a trail of education of girls that became her daughters. And she's been known for her joy, even after all of this. So what I take from her is, on my darkest days, which, I've had some and there may be more to come, is that there's always purpose in God's purpose. There's always a bigger story that I just really can't see. And I try to trust that. And some days I don't, and I wake up the next day and try again. So that is what I've learned from St. Elizabeth Seton. She is one of the saints that I feature in my latest book, Arise to Blessedness, from Ave Maria Press, where we feature 8 modern saints exploring the 8 different Beatitudes. So when you're going through tough times, remember Elizabeth Seton, and remember that you are part of a bigger story.